guys, and welcome to part 5. Sorry it's been a long time since the last section. So we're just going to try and continue where we left off last time. We ended with this little rundown. We ended up here on the 4th fret of the D string. And we're just going to continue this little run, staying on the D. We're just going to use the 1st fret. I'm just going to pull off, and then we're going to hit the open G. And what he's going to do is just mirror that 4th pattern of open D, open G, 2nd on the D, 2nd on the G. Okay, as soon as we hit that 2nd fret of the G, we're just going to climb up the Dorian scale for G, but we're going to jump over the 6th degree and hit the flat 7, which is on the 6th fret. And as soon as we do this on the B string, we're playing 1st finger to 4th, 3rd fret to 6. We're going to keep this finger pattern by going 3, 6, 5, 8, and then on the 1st string 6, 10, and we're going to just use fingers 1 and 4 for that. And in between that, 2nd finger is going to play the 8th fret of the 1st string, just to finish that run. Okay. So on from that, we're just going to use a little slide from the 6 to the 5 on the 1st string to the 8 of the B. And now the little trill that we're going to play on the 1st string, just 5 to 6 to 5, little hammer on pull off, and just finishing that with a little slide back to the 3. Okay, so the next one, on from that, is this kind of minor 7th run down over the G. From that G, I'm just going to play the rundown of 3rd on the 1st string, 6 to 3 on the 2nd string, and I'm just going to slightly over fret the B string, the 2nd string, just so that we can use the tip of the finger just to rotate to the 3rd fret, so you don't have to jump. Okay, that way you get a nice smooth transition between the notes. Sliding back to the 2nd, and then the last 2 notes, 3rd fret of the D string to the open G. Okay, and that's the first half of the run before we move into the next section. Okay, so you notice we're just swinging quite a lot. The trill gives us a little sort of semi-quaver triplet. On from that, we kind of move into this next part, which is kind of the new part, I suppose. In the way that he approaches playing these, it's kind of usually a sweep kind of style. Obviously with the thumb, the way that Wes played, it was kind of this sort of natural thing to kind of rest on the next string. It's a good thing to kind of get into. The odd thing about this is that rather than playing 3 notes and then a 4th of an upstroke, he uses the 1st note as a slide, so you get an extra note, which is a little bit harder because you've got to kind of control your sweep movement. It's not a regular movement for the little pause after the 1st note. So this little phrase is on the 4th string. We're just going to slide from the 7th fret to the 8. Then we're going to play the 7th fret of the G string, and then 6 of the B. Okay, so that last note, that little upstroke that we've thrown, is on the 10th fret of the B string, which is kind of spelling out the minor 9th for G. And what he does is he plays the exact same pattern, but we're starting on a little leading note, the major 7 up to the tonic of G, so the 11th fret of the G string up to the 12. Same technique again, slide. Then we're going to play the sort of diagonal movement back, so it's 12, 11, 10. And this one's a little bit different. Before, there's a 4 fret spread there. And instead on this one we're going to get a 7th fret jump, so we're going to aim for the 17th fret above, okay? Which is kind of interesting because when he plays the 1st part we're sliding up to the minor 3rd of the chord, and he ends on the 9. On this one it's sliding up to the tonic and it's still ending on the 9, so it gives you that kind of sort of a tonality that they can kind of tie into. So that little rundown, after we hit that 17, we get 2 hits on the 13, a staccato note on the 10 of the first string, and then a little slide up from the 9 to the 10 of the B string, 6 of the B to 7 of the G. Okay, and now the final part, if you go back to lesson 1 or 2, there was this little run that we did. It kind of copied itself going down. We're going to do the same idea, but with a different shape. I really like this one, the chord being C minor 7 to F dominant. He's kind of hitting all bases there, really. The F note to the E flat, kind of giving you this minor 11th kind of sound over C, but when it goes to the F, obviously the tonic. And this is giving you the minor 9th over C and the 13 over F. So 6 on the B string to the 8 on the G, back to the B on the 6, and 10 of the E. We're just going to move that down 2 frets, then down 1 fret, so we're on the 3rd, and the final little phrase for our altered tone. We get this little idea, which is really nice. Just sliding up 5 to 6 on the B, to 4 on the E, and then a little trill from the B string. We're playing 7, pulling off to 6, pulling off to 4. Striking the 6 again when we reach that. Now we're going to jump over the G, and we're going to hit the D string on the 4 and slide back. Okay. And that brings us up to the final part of the first solo. So he would often approach playing these things as a sort of single note solo idea, an octave solo, and sometimes a chord solo as well. What follows this one is we've got one small part left, using more of these little sweep ideas, and then we jump into the octaves. So we're almost there with the first section. Again, trick to these kind of things is just take it slowly, make sure you're using the pick in the correct way, or if you're trying it with thumb, you know, same kind of thing applies. But just take it slow first and kind of build up the speed from there. And I promise the next lesson will be a bit quicker.